Good evening, my friends. Let me start with something I want you to genuinely think about. This isn't just a question to hear and move on from. I want you to actually sit with it for a moment. How many hours in a day do you truly live in your desired reality? Not imagining it, not wishing for it, not visualizing it for a few minutes, but actually living as if it's already real. Be completely honest with yourself. Because whatever your answer is, it explains everything. It explains why some things have shown up in your life and why others are still missing. It explains why certain desires have stayed stuck for months or even years without shifting. So, how many hours? For most people, if we're honest, it's very little, maybe an hour, sometimes less. It's usually that one peaceful moment before sleep. That time when you close your eyes, do your practice, and for a short while everything feels real. The scene is vivid, the emotions are strong. In that moment, you feel like it's already done. You fall asleep in that state, believing it's yours. But then morning comes. Within minutes, sometimes even faster, it all fades. You reach for your phone. You start thinking about your day. You remember your bank balance, your relationship situation, your body, your responsibilities, your current life. And just like that, you return to the same old state, back to what feels familiar, back to what feels normal, even if that normal is exactly what you're trying to change. So think about this. You've given your desired reality 1 hour, and you've given your current reality the other 23. Then you wonder why nothing is changing. That's what we're going to shift today. Not by adding more techniques or trying something new, but by changing how you understand what manifestation really is and what it actually asks of you. I'm going to show you how to remain in your chosen state all day, every day, consistently. Here's something important you need to understand first. Your consciousness doesn't switch on only when you decide to practice. It's not something that activates at night and turns off during the day. It is always active. Every moment you're awake, and even when you're asleep, it is creating. Right now, as you're listening to this, you are manifesting. You were doing it this morning when you woke up. You were doing it while eating, while driving, while thinking about other things. And you will continue doing it later, even when you're not paying attention. This process never pauses. It doesn't wait for you to get serious. It doesn't stop when you're distracted. It doesn't take a break just because you forgot. It is constantly producing results based on what you are being in each moment. So the real question becomes this: what state are you mostly living in? For most people, the answer is simple. They are mostly living from their current circumstances, from their old identity, from patterns they've repeated for years, ways of thinking, reacting, and feeling that have become automatic. They step into their desired state briefly, maybe during a meditation or before sleep, but for the majority of the day, they return to the version of themselves who doesn't have what they want. And then they're surprised when the old reality continues to show up. But it makes perfect sense. It has to happen that way, because manifestation isn't determined by what you do occasionally. It's determined by who you are consistently. If most of the time you're thinking like someone who is still waiting, still lacking, still trying to get there, then that is the experience that will continue to reflect back to you. Not because anything is working against you, but because the process itself is exact. It responds to your dominant state, not your occasional effort. Before we go further, there's something important I need to clear up. I call it your default state. This is the state your mind naturally falls back into whenever you're not consciously directing it. It's your mental home, the place you return to without effort. For most people, that default isn't the feeling of already having what they want. It's the opposite. It's the familiar version of life they've been living for years. It's built from past experiences, repeated thoughts, and all the stories they've told themselves over time. Imagine it like a rubber band. You stretch it toward your desired reality. While you're focused, while you're doing your practice, you can hold it there. You can feel it, believe it, even enjoy it. But the moment your focus slips, when life interrupts, when you get distracted, when you simply stop paying attention, it snaps right back. And that right there is the real reason things aren't changing. It's not because you're doing something wrong. It's not because your visualization isn't perfect. It's not because anything is ignoring you. It's because your natural resting state is still tied to your old reality. So the real work isn't about pulling harder during your practice. It's not about forcing yourself to feel it more intensely for a short period of time. The real shift happens when you move the center itself, when your desired state becomes your new normal, when it becomes so natural to you that even when you're not thinking about it, you're still aligned with it. That's what it truly means to live in the assumption all day, every day. It's not about exhausting yourself by controlling every thought. It's not about constantly checking yourself in a stressful way. It's about changing what feels normal to you. When the center moves, everything changes. When your mind relaxes, it doesn't fall back into doubt or lack anymore. It settles into the feeling of already having. That becomes your new baseline. Now let's talk about something practical, your mornings, because this is where most people lose control of their entire day without even realizing it. You wake up, and for a brief moment, the feeling from the night before is still there. That calm certainty, that quiet knowing, it hasn't fully disappeared yet. And in that moment, you have a powerful opportunity. Your mind is still soft. The old patterns haven't fully taken over. There's space there, openness. Those first few seconds after waking up are incredibly valuable, but most people waste them without thinking. They grab their phone, they check messages, notifications, news. They start thinking about everything they have to deal with. They replay problems before they've even gotten out of bed. And just like that, they hand control back to their current circumstances. Instead, I want you to do something different. The moment you wake up, don't move right away. Don't reach for anything. Before any thoughts about your day begin, just settle into your desired state for 1 minute. Don't try to visualize anything complicated. Don't overthink it. Just feel yourself as the person who already has what you want. Let that identity gently come over you, the way a blanket naturally covers you without effort. You're not trying to force anything. You're not doing a technique. You're simply stepping into what is already true within you. Stay there for 60 seconds. And then this is the part that matters most. You don't get up to chase your desire. You don't begin your day as someone trying to make it happen. You get up as the version of you who already has it. It may sound like a small difference, but it changes everything. Because the moment you start your day trying to get something, you've already placed it outside of you. Every action you take, every step you move, every interaction you have, when it comes from a place of not there yet, it carries that energy. It carries the feeling of wanting, of chasing, of something being missing. And wanting at its core means you're still assuming you don't have it. But the moment you rise as someone who already has what they desire, everything shifts. You move differently without trying to. Your posture changes, your tone changes. Even the smallest things like how you make your morning coffee feel different. Not because you're pretending, but because the belief underneath your actions has changed. That's how you set the tone for your entire day. This simple morning step is something you don't skip. No excuses. It doesn't matter how you feel, whether you're motivated or tired, whether the day looks easy or heavy. 7 days a week, without fail. Just 60 seconds, that's all it takes. And those 60 seconds, repeated day after day, begin to rewire what feels natural to you. As you go through your day, there's something happening non-stop that most people never really notice. You're constantly talking to yourself. Even right now, there's a voice in your mind reacting, analyzing, remembering, worrying, planning. That inner dialogue never stops. It runs from the moment you wake up until the moment you fall asleep. And that voice is shaping your reality with incredible precision. For most people, it sounds familiar. Thoughts like, I can't afford this. Why does this always happen to me? Nothing ever works out. I'm tired of being alone. I don't have enough. I'm not enough. You recognize it because it feels normal. It feels like you're just being honest about your situation. It feels practical, grounded, even logical. But in truth, it's something much more powerful than that. It's your assumption playing on repeat. Every one of those thoughts is a decision about who you are and what's possible for you. When you think, I can't afford that, you step into the identity of someone who can't. When you think nothing works for me, you reinforce that reality again. And this doesn't happen once or twice. It happens all day, over and over again. So while your short practice is trying to build the feeling of already having what you want, your inner dialogue is quietly undoing it the rest of the time. This is the shift you must make. Your inner voice has to start reflecting the version of you who already has it, not in a forced way, not by repeating empty affirmations with tension, but by naturally thinking from that place instead of constantly thinking about it. When you see something you like, instead of saying you can't have it, think in a way that assumes you could. When something doesn't go your way, instead of reacting with frustration, remind yourself that things are unfolding in your favor, even if you don't yet understand how. When you're alone, instead of feeling empty, recognize the sense of being supported, connected, and whole. This isn't about ignoring reality or pretending challenges don't exist. It's about choosing, with awareness, which identity you operate from. At the beginning, it will take effort. You'll notice yourself slipping back into old patterns again and again. That's normal. You might have to correct yourself many times in a single day. That correction is the practice. And over time, something powerful happens. As your inner conversation changes, your external world begins to reflect it. It's not random. It's not luck. It's the natural result of the state you consistently occupy. Now I understand something. You can't watch every single thought all day long. That would be exhausting and unnecessary. So instead, here's a simple approach that works incredibly well. Set a reminder every 2 hours. When it goes off, pause for just a few seconds. You don't need a long break. Even 10 seconds is enough. In that moment, ask yourself one question. What state am I in right now? Not what you're doing, not how busy you are, but who you are being in that moment. Are you thinking and feeling like the person who already has what you want, or the person still trying to get there? If you're aligned, take a second to feel it more deeply. Let it settle. If you've drifted, and you will drift, everyone does, just gently return. No frustration, no guilt, no overthinking. Just notice it and shift back. That's it. Simple and clean. Do this consistently for a week, and you'll start catching yourself even without the reminder. Your awareness will grow. You'll begin to notice the shift happening naturally. After 2 weeks, the new way of thinking will start to feel more comfortable than the old one. And after some time, it won't feel like effort at all. It will feel like who you are. And now, we come to the most challenging part of all. Now we come to the part that challenges almost everyone, even those who are consistent, disciplined, and fully committed to this work. It's the moment when reality seems to contradict everything you've been doing. You've been steady in your assumption. Your inner dialogue is improving. Your morning routine is on track, and then something happens. A bill shows up. Your bank balance looks worse than expected. The call you were waiting for never comes. The results disappoint you. Someone you still care about moves on. And in that exact moment, something old rises up quickly and powerfully. Fear, doubt, panic. It feels like a sudden pull, dragging you back into the version of yourself you were trying to leave behind. The intensity of it can make all your effort feel weak, almost meaningless. This is where most people lose it. They react immediately. They let their emotions take over. They start assuming the worst. They fall back into old thinking and begin telling themselves, "I knew this wouldn't work." And just like that, they drop the state they were building and fully return to their circumstances. Let me be clear. I'm not asking you to ignore what you see. I'm not asking you to pretend problems don't exist or to fake positivity in difficult moments. But I am asking you to understand something that changes everything. What you are seeing right now is not your present state. It is the result of a past one. If your consciousness is what shapes reality, and it does, then what shows up physically is simply a delayed reflection. It's the outcome of thoughts and states you held before. In other words, what you're seeing is old information playing itself out. That low bank balance? It's not your current truth. It's an echo of where you used to be mentally. That missing phone call? It's not proof of failure. It's just the time gap between a new assumption and its visible result. So when something shows up that doesn't match what you're now choosing to believe, this is how you respond. Calmly, honestly, without forcing anything. You remind yourself, this is old. This is not who I am now. I can see it, I can feel it, but I'm not going back. You don't deny what's in front of you. You simply refuse to let it define your state. Because this moment is more important than it seems. It's not something working against you. It's actually an opportunity to prove to yourself how steady you've become. Every time you stay aligned with your chosen state, even when things don't look right, you strengthen that identity. You send a clear message to your mind about what is real. And that message carries more weight than any short practice ever could. As your day comes to an end, there is one more step that matters deeply. Before you go to sleep, take a few moments to reflect on your day. Not to criticize yourself or focus on what went wrong, but to observe and understand. Ask yourself simple questions. Where did I stay in my desired state today? Where did I fall back and what triggered it? When things didn't go my way, how did I respond? Notice your progress. Even the smallest moment where you caught yourself and shifted back is a win. It means the new pattern is forming. It means you're changing. Acknowledge that. Let it matter. Then gently move into your night practice. Take your time with it. Feel your desire as already complete. Let it feel natural, warm, and real to you. Don't rush it. Let yourself settle into that state fully, and then fall asleep from that place. Because something powerful continues even after you close your eyes. Your mind doesn't stop working when you sleep. It keeps going. It processes, organizes, and builds based on whatever state you impressed upon it most strongly before drifting off. So if you fall asleep worried, it continues working in that direction. It reinforces those concerns. But if you fall asleep feeling fulfilled, it spends those hours aligning things to match that feeling. Think about that. While you rest, there are hours of quiet creation happening beneath the surface. So even your sleep becomes part of this process. Even those unconscious hours contribute to the state you're choosing to live in. You're not stepping away from your desired state when you sleep or pause. You're actually strengthening it. You're letting it settle deeper into who you are. Now let me show you where all of this is leading, because the purpose isn't to stay stuck in practice forever. The real goal is much more powerful than that. It's about becoming someone new at your core. There are two stages in this journey. In the beginning, you are practicing. You're consciously choosing your state. You pay attention to your inner dialogue. You follow your morning routine. You check in with yourself during the day. You notice when you slip and gently bring yourself back. This stage takes effort. It asks for awareness, patience, and consistency. And that's completely okay. It's part of the process. But if you stay with it, if you keep choosing the new way of being again and again, something deeper begins to change. You stop trying to feel abundant, and you simply feel abundant. You stop reminding yourself that you are loved, and you just know that you are. The state you were practicing starts to feel natural. It becomes familiar. It becomes you. At some point, there's a shift, a quiet but powerful turning point. And from there, staying in that state doesn't feel like work anymore. You're not maintaining anything. You're just being yourself. And that version of you already has what you once desired. That is the real aim of all of this. Not perfect techniques, not endless discipline powered by force, but a genuine, lasting shift in identity that feels easy and natural. So here's what I want you to do. Starting tomorrow, commit to this fully for 7 days. Not casually, not half-heartedly, but with real intention. For 7 days, wake up and immediately step into your desired state before anything else touches your mind. For 7 days, stay aware of your inner conversation and guide it from your new identity. For 7 days, check in with yourself every couple of hours and gently return if you've drifted. For 7 days, when reality seems to disagree, hold your state anyway, especially in those moments. And for 7 days, fall asleep feeling as though it's already done. No exceptions. I'm not saying this just to motivate you. I'm telling you this because it works. By the end of those 7 days, something will feel different. The new state will feel easier to hold. You'll notice yourself drifting less. And when you do drift, coming back will feel quicker and more natural. You will have started shifting your internal center. You will have begun making your desired state your new default. And if you continue another week and another, there will come a moment you'll recognize instantly. It will feel like a deep release, like finally relaxing after holding tension for years. In that moment, the effort disappears. You're no longer practicing. You are simply being. and you are the person you always wanted to become. Let me leave you with this. Living in your desired state all the time is not about being perfect. You will slip. Everyone does. No matter how experienced someone is, moments of drifting happen. That's not failure. That's just part of being human. What matters is what you do when you notice it. Do you let it pull you into negativity? Do you start telling yourself it's not working, that you can't do this, that nothing will change? Or do you simply notice it and return, calmly and without judgment? That quiet return, that simple decision to come back again and again, is where real mastery is built. It's not about never leaving the state, it's about always coming back to it. If you keep doing that patiently and consistently, the new way of being will grow stronger. It will begin to feel more natural than the old fears. And eventually, the state you once practiced will just be who you are. And at that point, what you desire won't feel like something coming toward you. It will feel like something that's already here. So tonight, make a decision. Not to try, not to wish, but to truly commit. From this moment forward, choose to live from the state of your wish fulfilled all the time. Through your day, through your night, in your thoughts, in your actions, in your quiet moments. Stay there until it feels completely natural. This is how your desires take shape. This is how it has always worked. Live as if it's done. Think as if it's done. Be the person for whom it is already done. Thank you and good evening. This is Palapeha. Until we meet again, stay in that state, trust it fully, and keep returning to the version of yourself that already has everything you seek. This journey is not about chasing desires, but becoming the version of yourself who already lives them. It's about choosing your state again and again until it feels natural, until it becomes who you are. You will drift, but your power lies in returning without doubt or fear. Stay faithful to your inner reality, even when the outer world disagrees. Because the moment your state becomes your identity, what you once desired is no longer coming, it is already yours.